What's up, everybody? I'm John.
I'm Isaac.
And we are Cars and Cameras, and today we are going to be doing more performance mods to our 10,000 RPM Tillotson 212cc engine. We're going to be playing around with a bigger carburetor and E85. Well, we bought a wideband O2 sensor to try to tune the air-to-fuel mixture, and it has us really confused. Like, Ike has been watching cat videos on YouTube confused. So let's go to the board. So to be completely honest, we don't know a whole lot about E85, and we really don't know much about E85 and O2 sensors, but we're not worried about that right now. We're going to start with gasoline. We're going to throw our AFR gauge on the engine the way it sits with the 24 flat slide, get some baseline testing done. Then we're going to upgrade to this 28mm flat slide carburetor from GoPowersports.com. We should pick up some top end power, make sure it's running right with the AFRs, and then we're going to experiment with E85. Drill out this jet and see if we can make even more power.
So since we're so popular with the police lately, we are going to be using a race muffler from GoPowersports.com. Thank you, GoPowersports. All right, dude. I hate to do it, but I believe we're going to have to trim this exhaust to aim it backwards. That's just too close to the sprocket.
Where are we going to mount the O2 sensor, Bong?
I read ideally you wanted about 2 feet from the engine. Well, guess how long this exhaust pipe is?
18 inches.
20.
Ah.
So we're 4 inches shy. We're going to add this muffler, and it's going to give us the 2 foot, but we don't want to put the O2 sensor too close to the back end of the header or exhaust pipe because it'll give false readings because of the fresh air coming into the exhaust system from that end, or even at the little the other end of the muffler. Did you want to try to put this in the pipe bender?
And unbend it?
Like bend it right here, kind of aim it up?
That would be a lot prettier, wouldn't it?
It'd be prettier.
Let's go bend some pipe.
Sounds good. Give that a shot. It is ugly.
It'll be fine, man.
Here we go. Dude, it looks spot on, dude. I'm not putting it on the super tight. Look at it. It's kind of close to the plastic. All right, dude.
Let's tack it up. That's it. That'll do for now. O2 sensor?
Sure.
Here's where the fun begins, right?
That's right.
So here's our gauge, and we have our harness here. The instructions said to mount the bung anywhere between 9 and 3 o'clock on the header, and we have it at about 9:15. Ow, it's hot.
I think that's probably gonna be it. That should be a 10mm right there. I don't think she's going anywhere, bud.
Good Lord. Well, that's fixed. We have everything mounted, the wiring zip tied in place. I think we're ready for a test. We also installed the tachometer from Go Power Sports. Very simple. Watch battery that goes in the back of that, and then you have black wire that goes to ground. We're right there. And then red wire you coil around the spark plug wire. So again, on our AFR gauge, we're looking for 14.7 to 1 idling and cruising, and then 12 to 13 to 1 for wide open throttle. Here we go.
Yep.
All right, so it didn't work last time because you have to calibrate the O2 sensor. Reading the instructions helps sometimes, guys. We have to disconnect the O2 sensor, kind of power it up, wait for it to go through some kind of, I don't know, boot up sequence, and then power it down, connect the O2 sensor. Anyway, if you're playing around with this, you'll find out yourself. Just read the instructions. All right, let's try this again.
One thing I did read is they say that cam overlap will also affect the airflow reading.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I read it somewhere. This is what I got. For any given airflow mixture input, comma, high overlap cams will, comma, other things being equal, comma, lead to a richer mixture being recorded by an airflow sensor due to the greater presence of unburned fuel in the exhaust. A smaller overlap reduces unburned fuel / leads to more complete combustion of the fuel and hence a cleaner exhaust. So this is a pretty large cam, so I'm betting that it is causing our readings to be a little on the high side. So I think we ought to take it down the road and get some good readings.
So the rest of the video is going to be shot at our testing grounds in Mexico. So we have done all of the calculating and drilling of jets here for gasoline and E85. We basically just took the gas jet numbers and added 30 to 35% to them to get to our ideal E85 jetting numbers. So again, they say the rule of thumb is that E85 is going to require 30 to 35% more fuel volume compared to gasoline. So we have drilled that out to that number, and now we're going to be able to look at it and fine-tune it with our AFR gauge and with the needle on the carburetor.
All right, dude. We're going to have to bring some extra jets because I know it's not going to be that easy.
I think you're right, yeah.
We're going to find out that the numbers just ain't right, so we're going to have to do some more, we're going to have to ruin some more jets.
So if you can't tell, this go-kart weighs about twice as much as a regular racing frame, but it's perfect for like a gigantic engine because the tubing is really thick and there's a lot of room for an engine. So like, I'm thinking snowmobile engine. We just got to get our hands on one first. Anyway, we'll see you out there. So here's how this is going to go down. Ike's going to hop on the cart, do some practice tests, figure out where it hits top end from a dead stop, and then we're going to set a cone at start and a cone somewhere near the end where it hits the top end of its power band, and then that's where we're going to measure from. So not 60 feet, not 120, not 330, we're just going to basically set our course to be perfect for the gear on this go-kart. And like we mentioned earlier, we're going to run it with the 24 flat slide, and then we're going to switch to the 28, and then we're going to switch over to E85 on the 28 and just get some data, see how much power we pick up or lose. You never know. All right, what do you think?
Drum roll, 46.9.
All right, not bad. I mean, remember, we have the second shortest gear possible for a 35 chain.
And I gotta say, this thing's doing pretty good for how heavy this frame is.
Yeah.
I had no idea this frame was this heavy. I think eventually we ought to weigh it and compare it against another frame.
I'd say the chassis is about as twice as a regular racing cart.
Yeah, the throat appears to be
28,
bigger.
24. Hey guys, here's your reminder to come out to Mini Mayhem October 4, 5, 6 at Busco Beach, North Carolina. Bring all your best projects because we're bringing ours. We're going to have a ton of fun on the drag strip, on the trails. We already have over 100 people RSVP'd to come out. It's going to be a ton of fun. See you there. RSVP on our website, cars-cameras.com, or on our Facebook page, Cars and Cameras Reviews. Also, we're looking for a few really unique projects to make videos about for the Cars and Cameras YouTube channel. Let us know and submit your project on our website when you RSVP. So this is the beginning of our testing with the 28mm flat slide carburetor on gasoline. We should have a .025 pilot jet and a .054 main jet. According to Go Power Sports, that's right where we should be. So we're going to fire it up, take a look at the AFRs, take a look at the RPM and speed, and time and see what we come up with, then move on to E85. So we really learned something today, especially when you calculate the wrong way. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I calculated the wrong freaking way between gas and E85. We should have been, like, it makes total sense. I'm gonna blame it on the heat exhaustion, dude. We were out there in 95-degree weather for like 4 hours, and that's what I'm gonna blame it on. So we've done one round of E85 tuning, realizing that we're too lean. So we're gonna go ahead and install our pre-drilled jets for E85. Let's see where that takes us. We should be looking for an idle AFR reading of 9.8 to 1 and a wide open throttle of about 8.8 to 1. We'll see how it does. We'll compare it to Ike's butt dyno. Hopefully we got it all right.
Since this jet is so huge, I should probably set the E-clip all the way in the lean position, which is dropping the jet. Or not dropping the jet, but dropping the needle.
All right, so far it sounds happier. A lot less boggy. That was faster. That was 1173. That was pretty good. So it's looking like we need more fuel. So we're headed in the right direction according to Ike's butt dyno and according to our AFR gauge. So we just moved the E-clip on the needle all the way from the lean position to the all the way rich position. We're gonna give it another shot. Yeah, we're beat. I gotta say the O2 sensor gauge is a pretty neat tool for the future, but yeah, E85 is kind of witchcraft to us still. But we did a little bit more testing off camera, and Ike figured that it's gotta be something other than the jet that we need to continue to drill. Our AFR is still not as low as it needs to be on E85.
It's close.
It's still around 12.5, and we keep drilling the jet, and it stays around 12.5 under wide open throttle, which it should be, we calculated, around 9. So we're thinking that we're gonna have to drill the emulsion tube. I don't know, just a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's something to mess with at a later date, but we did shave off 2 to 3 tenths using E85 versus our other fastest time, which happened to be the 24 flat slide. And we saw a maximum of about 9,500 RPM with our nice new tack at about 50 miles an hour.
Yep.
So I don't know, if you have any knowledge on E85 tuning with air-fuel ratio meters, you know, O2 sensors, stuff like that, let us know in the comments. This is all new to us.
Yes.
That is safe to say.
Let us know if our target is 8.8 wide open throttle.
Yeah, that's just what we had to come up with because the air-fuel ratio meter doesn't know we're running E85, so we had to convert it for gas. Anyway, yeah, confusing. Anyway, thanks for watching this video, guys. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Cars and Cameras Reviews.
Check me out at Isaac. It'll be fine.
Mini Mayhem, October 4, 5, 6, as long as we don't get wiped out by a hurricane.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
Anyway, hope you all stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.